What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the show, gamers, and welcome to the newly rebranded Gamers Tech Corner. Today, we're diving deep into the tech essentials you need to elevate your gaming experience. Whether you're a casual gamer or a hardcore enthusiast, having the right setup can make all the difference. First off, we have to talk about the foundation, your gaming desk. A solid gaming desk is more than just a solid piece of furniture. It's the cornerstone of your gaming setup, and, well, obviously, it's the area where you're going to be putting your monitor and your PC and definitely your peripherals. So, when you pick out a desk, make sure you look for one that's both sturdy, can fit the space that you need. It's very ergonomic for those that have posture issues or may have some leg issues. You might want to look for one of those standing desks, and also look for desk features like cable management to keep your setup tidy and organized, adjustable height, finding the perfect posture for hours of comfortable gaming, which we did just talk about a little bit. And also, if you really want to save space, I highly recommend built-in power outlets. One of the reasons why I recommend both ergonomic desks with cable management and built-in power outlets is because not only can you raise the desk to fit your ergonomic needs and also keep your cables nice and organized, but with built-in power outlets, you can conveniently charge your devices and even plug in your PCs and monitors so that cables are not only out of sight and out of mind, but are also easier to reach on your desk. And this is especially useful if you have, like, say, a phone or something where you might need to go in and unplug it and then plug it in on the fly. So the next section I'm going to talk about is the visual masterpiece. Now that's going to be your monitor. A high quality monitor is essential for immersive gaming. Here's some key factors to consider. First off, the resolution. Higher resolution means sharper visuals, but with higher resolution, that also means it consumes a lot more graphical power. So if you're going to get anything 1440p or higher, make sure you have the graphics card to support it. Refresh rate. A higher refresh rate ensures smoother gameplay, especially for fast-paced games. Now, typically for desktops, you want to aim for anything with 144 Hz or higher. For laptops, if you're going to do a laptop setup, try and aim for a monitor with 144 Hz or higher and a laptop with 120 Hz or higher. This ensures smoother gameplay and is going to make sure that your screen tearing and lag is reduced. Second to finally, response time. A low response time, it reduces input lag, making your actions more responsive. For the sake of saying it, latency is the time in milliseconds it takes for between when the button is pressed on the controller and an actual gunshot or an actual mile per hour increase in either an FPS game or a racing game. That means if I press the button and my latency is 1 millisecond, it takes 1 millisecond for my car to accelerate from 0 miles per hour to 1 mile an hour. Or, for example, if I'm playing a game like Destiny 2, it takes 1 millisecond from the time that I press the button on the controller to the time when the shot appears on the screen to hit the enemies. Now, typically you want lower latency because with higher latency, you're definitely going to feel it. I typically say, from my experience, any latency under 25 milliseconds is generally considered good, at least for me. But for competitive esports, you definitely want to aim for anything with 10 milliseconds or lower. Now, the panel type. Different panel types offer distinct advantages. Now, if you want deep blacks, but you also want to go ultra wide, I would say go for VA. If you want vibrant colors, but you also want to go small monitor, maybe you don't need the OLED, maybe you want to avoid burn-in, I would go for IPS. If you're a content creator or you really want the sharpest visuals and the best color accuracy, I would go with an OLED monitor. Now, there are some other types of monitors out there like mini LED. Purposefully, I did not include mini LED because most gaming monitors that are on desktops are usually either one of those three types, even though mini LED provides more brightness. So at least in my eyes, I kind of view it as more of like a brighter, I view it as more like a brighter OLED, but that's just me. It's really not a brighter OLED. It's more of like just a better display for brightness and that sort of quality, but it really depends. Now, for the powerhouse, and I want to talk about this really, really quickly, is going to be the PC. And the only reason why I'm going to talk about this briefly is because if you're considering a gaming setup, you probably already have a PC in mind. So the heart of your gaming setup is going to be the PC. When buying or building a gaming PC, focus on these components: the processor, the graphics card, the RAM, the storage, and the power supply. The CPU handles the heavy lifting. The performance of the GPU is crucial for stunning visuals and smooth gameplay, especially with what I talked about with ultra-wide monitors and higher resolution. So the higher your graphics card power, the more resolutions you can handle. RAM, make sure you have enough RAM. In 2024, you need at least 16 gigs on a desktop. Now, if you have 32 or higher, that's excellent, perfect. But if you want to go bare bones, make sure it's at least 16. For storage, if you're going to do anything gaming, get 1 terabyte or higher. Just get 1 terabyte off the get-go. Don't even consider 512. Definitely don't consider 256. Just get a 1 terabyte off the get-go, or if you're going to do a 1 terabyte and a 256 OS drive, I would highly recommend at least getting a terabyte in addition to your OS drive if you're doing a desktop setup, so you can at least have enough storage for the games that you want to download, especially because games like Call of Duty, well, they take like 310 gigabytes. Now, power supply unit, PSU, make sure that the wattage is equivalent to the entire system power, not just the graphics card power. I've made that mistake before when upgrading to my RX 6600, and then I ended up having to take the power supply out and replacing it and upgrading it to a 700 watt because the graphics card took up all of the power and there's no power left for the motherboard or anything else to boot. So don't make my mistake. Go for a higher power supply than what the GPU spec requires. Instead, aim for the system power requirement, not the GPU power requirement. That's the wattage you want. Now, the input arsenal. This is where I say it gets a little subjective. Generally, a good keyboard and mouse can significantly impact your gaming performance, but there are 3 different types of keyboards and there are 3 different sections for the mouse that I want to talk about. It doesn't matter what mouse or keyboard you get, it's all personal preference. If you want to get a 60% keyboard or a 65% keyboard, if you want to go and buy a mechanical keyboard or a membrane keyboard or ergonomic keyboard or a mouse for that matter, that's all up to the individual and what the individual's use case is. So that's why I say it's very subjective. But there are 3 types of keyboards. Like I said, mechanical, membrane, and ergonomic. Mechanical are tactile and clicky, so they're loud. Membrane are more affordable and quieter. And ergonomic keyboards can be the best of both worlds, and they also have improved ergonomics, so your wrists and everything will not get damaged long term, hopefully. And then for the mouse. Now the mouse, there's really 3 things. DPI, which is the sensitivity. Now, sensitivity only matters in esports because higher DPI means you can rotate your screen, you can move faster with your mouse. Ergonomic design ensures comfort during long gaming sessions. And the wireless or versus wired, if you go wired, you don't have to charge it. You will always be plugged in, however. And with a wireless, you can charge it and take it anywhere. Now, be careful with wireless, because with wireless, there are Bluetooth wireless and there's 2.4 gigahertz wireless. Most on Amazon that you find will have both, but be careful of that because if you're looking for a Bluetooth mouse, you want to make sure it has the Bluetooth symbol on it, especially if you go into the store. If you want to get 2.4 gigahertz, make sure it says light speed connection or something along those lines, just so you know that you're getting the right keyboard. Lastly, the additional gear. To truly immerse yourself in the gaming world, consider these additional accessories. Now, the headset and the mic are a necessity. If you're going to be playing with a team, if you're going to be playing on any esports team or a competitive sport in that like list, then make sure you have a headset, a microphone, and a controller. Gaming chair is totally up to the individual. I personally had an office chair for about a year before I got my first gaming chair that I still have. But if you want a good comfort, make sure you get a high back or full size gaming chair. And also, if you want a steering wheel, or if you're a streamer and you need like a stream deck or a streaming light or anything along those lines, or if you're like into racing and you want to do a racing sim, buy a steering wheel, or maybe buy a ring light like the one I have in my studio inside the house. That's just like the best thing you can do. Actually, if you get it all in advance, then if you ever decide to stream down the line, you won't have to worry about it. And I always recommend this to save money. The best way to save money when doing it is to look for the best deals. Now, I can't tell you personally how much it's really benefited me to look at websites for deals because I generally stick to the main ones, Amazon and Newegg, but there are plenty of deal sites out there, so I'll make sure to leave a few links in the description to some good deal finding websites for those that are looking for these accessories and PCs and whatnot on a budget. I'll also leave a link to holiday sales because by the time you guys will be viewing this or listening to this, it will be January 1st. So make sure you guys check out those holiday sales because most holiday sales, some of them do run a little bit beyond the holidays, up until New Year's, or maybe a week or so after New Year's. So make sure you guys do check out those links. And there's no commission-based links, so I'm not going to get a commission for this. And even if I did, it wouldn't be at a cost to you, the consumer. But make sure you guys do check out those links because it is going to be helpful. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed today's podcast episode. I actually had a change of scenery. I actually came outside to the back of my Ford Escape that I can't even drive to actually record this episode. Let me know how the audio quality is. I'm using a new app, and as always, you guys, I will see you guys in the next episode.